we will begin removing the more than 2 million criminal illegal immigrants from the country.
I was 9 years old when I came to the United States. When I was told I was coming to America, my mom told me we were going to Disney World, so I was very excited. And when months passed, I never went back home. I really never understood that. It was scary. I mean, I didn't really understand it much, but my mom was there, so I guess everything was going to turn out fine.
A tragic image from the southern border reveals the grim reality facing many Central American migrants who make the dangerous journey. We warn you, the photo you're about to see is disturbing. It shows a young father and his 23-month-old daughter who died trying to cross the Rio Grande in South Texas.
Since I was not a permanent resident or a citizen, I was not entitled for any loans. So any school that I wanted to go to, I had to pay out of pocket. So when I went to Bergen Community College to get an associate's in accounting, my mom paid all of that out of pocket. So every semester she would have to ditch out all the money. And I messed up in school a lot. The first 2 semesters, I basically never went to class. And that was something that I felt really bad about.
If they have the balls to come here and live off of my money, I pay for their welfare, I pay for their ability to be here. The least they can do is
no welfare? Probably on welfare. The taxpayers probably paid for all that stuff. It's true. They probably paid. We probably paid for every bit of that stuff. You know that?
Drug dealers, gang heads, gang members, killers.
I looked generally white, so I wasn't really ostracized growing up until I learned English completely, then I was good. I remember specifically a kid named Daniel. This is how I know I am traumatized from that experience. Because he used to ask me what I was doing over the weekend, and I said, I'm going to the bitch, I'm going to the bitch. And I never understand why he always asked me, why he made fun of me. And then I realized later on that I was saying it wrong. I was saying bitch instead of beach. So that was the one thing that really got to me when I was younger.
So I went to a private kindergarten and a private first grade. And it was predominantly white. And there really wasn't nothing like racist, but like you could just tell, because all the minorities just were together, pretty much separate from. It never really bothered me though. I don't know why, but it didn't really bother me. But I didn't get no direct racism then, up until like later on in my life as a teenager when I started living in other areas.
Since I look white, I get treated as if I am white, where I see other people, Hispanics get treated differently just because of the way they look.
When I was about 14 or 15, I had moved into a predominantly white town, and I was just like, waiting for the bus, and I had a cop pretty much come up to me and tell me to go back to the other town that's nearby, that's like, everybody there is black or Spanish, and he told me to just go back over there, like that. And that was the first time I was like, wow, like it really still exists. Like, how would you be able to tell that I'm from that town, like just because I'm Spanish?
Stupid bitch.
Yes?
That's not how we drive in America. Trump's deporting your illegal cousins today, bitch.
Really?
He is, bitch.
All right.
He is, bitch. Learn English, bitch.
Okay.
It's my country, bitch.
Yeah, it's not mine, right?
Get out.
Run your mouth. Go back to
Listen,
Mexico.
I said, excuse me.
Go back, wherever you're from.
Go back to wherever the fuck you come from, lady. Y'all think you... Hey, tell them to go back where they belong. They speak English. You're in America. If you don't know it, learn it.
You're a fucking piece of shit, you fucking spit.
And explain what I did to you one more time.
Talking that fucking stupid Spanish around here when everybody else is a fucking English-speaking American.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Fuck you too.
No.
Fuck you too. Fuck you too.
I was an illegal immigrant until about 4 years ago, so I never really expected to go to college. I never really thought I was going to be able to go to college, so I just never thought about it. In the beginning, I didn't have any motivation. That's why I did terrible in school, did terrible my first couple semesters at Bergen, because I thought there was no afterwards for me. I thought I was going to end up McDonald's or doing some hard labor job, so I didn't have a motivation. Once DACA kicked in, and I didn't believe I was accepted, and I got my paperwork, so that the certificate came in the mail, or the card came in the mail. And at that point is when, like, holy crap, I could actually do something with my life now. So that's when I decided I had to try. I never got below a B+ in school after that.
I was just always told just to be somebody. Like, just pretty much pursue whatever you do, just be great at that.
It was difficult. I didn't know where to start, who to talk to, what to do. You're kind of just left on your own, especially since your parents didn't go through that same process. You just have to do it on yourself. I had a lot of love and support from her, but I know I didn't see her as much growing up, but I understood why. I spent a lot of days alone at home just watching over myself, since my mom would work 2 jobs just to provide for the both of us, so I know it wasn't easy.
I never really felt the pressure of I gotta go to college. It was more or less like, you know, I had the opportunity and it's either I take advantage of it or I don't. I didn't have my parents. My mom, I didn't grow up with her. And my grandmother is, you know, of an older generation where she didn't go to school and all she did was work since she was 8, 10. And she's not financially literate. She's not, you know, she just comes here to work. And it was up to me. It was just all up to me. So pretty much, all right, so what are we gonna do? What are we gonna establish in my family that's different from previous generations? My mom didn't do anything with her life. My uncles didn't do anything with their life. They got in trouble a lot. A lot of drug dealing going around it has to do with that. And the pressure of, you know, really being successful and wanting to be somebody, that's the pressure I had. I felt like I couldn't fail that. I felt like I had to change the narrative in my family.
I wish I would have taken school more seriously in high school and definitely the beginning of college. There was a lot of opportunity there to get scholarships and go in a different route, but I never really cared about school because I never really thought I was going to be able to get a job since I was illegal. I kind of knew it, like going out of college, I wasn't going to be able to find a real job just because I didn't have any papers. So having a janitor job, I was actually very glad I actually had a job that I could pay for my bills. So it's not like I hated it or anything, but it got to the point where I didn't want to do that anymore. It's just the way you have to do things around here. Like, you can't complain about it. You don't have no papers. What else can you do? You gotta pay the rent somehow, right? So I remember exactly the moment where I decided I needed to change my life because I walk into the bathroom to clean the bathroom like every other day, and a kid took a poop in a urinal. So that was the moment I looked myself in the mirror as I'm picking up this piece of poop out of the urinal, that I needed to change my life. So that day, as I was driving home, I found another school where I got my second associate's degree in surgical technology, and I went back to school for that. Driving was very scary for me. I didn't like doing it, but I had to do it in order to get to school. There was no other form of transportation to get to Bergen Community College. I remember an incident as I was driving home from Bergen Community College, and it was slow traffic. And there was an accident. I was like, oh my God, an accident. And then I hit the guy in front of me. And that moment I went pale. The first thing I thought is, what am I going to do in Colombia? I haven't been there in 15 years. I don't know anyone. I just remember their faces when I was younger. And it was stupid to think of me, but that's the first thing that I thought. Like, what am I going to do in my life now? I was here going to school. Now I'm screwed. The guy got out the car, and he was a cop that was going to work. And I had no paperwork. I had no license. I had a flimsy international license that you could pay $100 to get anywhere. And I called my mom, and I told her, Mom, I think I'm getting deported. Like, I just got into an accident. I'm sorry. I love you. Bye. So my mom called my cousins. Two of my cousins showed up, talked to the police as they showed up too. Fortunately, they only did a police report. They saw my flimsy, stupid license, and they took it as something that it actually helps or whatever. It was literally a little pamphlet that said license to drive. It was super scary. I went home and I took 2 Advils and I just slept till the next day because I literally thought that moment that I was gonna get deported. It's just so hard to explain to be in that position until you've been in there, where you don't know where your life could go just because of a simple paper or like a simple social security card. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm Colombian, but I consider myself an American just because it's all I know. I don't remember anything from my country. All I know is America and growing up here. And if I had to have been deported, I do not know what I would have done with my life because I consider myself an American my whole life.